BlackBurn Brew House's upcoming Cinco de Mayo party celebrates more than just a significant moment in Mexico's history. It's also a celebration of the work being done in Niagara by community crew. Katy, Herron and Chris Goddard join us. And Chris, how did this idea take root with BlackBurn?
Well, you know, we're always looking to have a party. Every time, if a day ends in Y, we want to have a party. So Cinco de Mayo seemed like a great thing to do. We have Angie at Earth Mother Foods does great Spanish food. So we're like, oh, okay, this is, and we want to help out with community crew. So the two ideas came together and a party was formed, a fundraising party was formed.
Before we move on, I've got to ask you about that shirt.
Thank you.
I love it. It's beautiful. Those are hops?
They are hop cones on it in the Western style. And I got this when I was out visiting my brother out west. He lives in Calgary. So, of course, lots of Western shirts out there.
It's amazing. And for someone who is involved in a brewery, it's perfect.
It is absolutely perfect.
Katy, the discussion between you and BlackBurn, how did that go and how did this concept come together?
Well, sure. Well, we're always looking for fun ways to raise funds, and BlackBurn Brew House has been a great supporter of community crew through the years. So the idea was born to help us. We know that we're always looking for additional funds and a nice way to bring the community together to do that. So it was just a perfect solution. So we're really looking forward to Cinco de Mayo.
What's on the menu, Chris, that day?
Everything that you could ever want from a Mexican restaurant: enchiladas, tacos, queso, all these house-made sauces. And the great thing is it's bottomless. So as much as you want to eat from the taco bar, you can eat until you turn into a taco.
And it's one price, $60?
$60, that gets you 2 beers, cash bar afterwards. There's entertainment, there's gonna be piñatas, live music, some dancing, all the tacos you can eat. It's gonna be a ton of fun.
You brought some examples, and I'm going to pull this one out here. This is the Peso Ligero?
Yeah, and that is going to be launching at Cinco de Mayo. So you get a first chance to try that at the event.
Tell me about this beer. What's it like?
You know, it's designed to be similar to a cerveza style beer. So light, refreshing, easy to session, pretty crushable. Not a lot of hops there. It's a pretty easy drinking beer.
Excellent. Katy, community crew, how many volunteers now?
We are up to over 90 volunteers a week to actively produce those lunches and get them delivered to the students. And that doesn't count the extra volunteers, note writers, and people that do some of the extra things for us in the community. But just to get the lunches out each week to the 1,500 children enrolled in our program takes over 90 people.
This is Volunteer Week.
It is.
National Volunteer
Yes.
Week.
Yes.
Anything you want to say about how much you appreciate those volunteers?
Boy, they are the heartbeat of community crew. They're our heart, and they make it happen. It's a handful of us on staff here, so we certainly couldn't do what we do in this community without them. And they're dedicated, you know. Crazy weather and situations, they show up and they work hard, and we appreciate them so much. I just can't even thank our volunteers enough.
1,500 students you're helping in
That's
how
right.
many different schools?
That's right, 1,500 students in 33 schools in the Niagara region.
And 4,500 lunches that works out to be, right?
That's right.
3 times a week?
That's right. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, our kids get a lunch who would otherwise go without. And so Monday becomes a prep day. A lot of food being prepared for our volunteers that show up and make those lunches and deliver them. And so it's a pretty big operation, yes.
When an organization like BlackBurn approaches you with an idea like this, it must really, really just well, there you go. It must make you smile just like that.
It does. Absolutely. It warms our hearts. And we are a community-based grassroots organization. You know, we were birthed here to meet a need and to just meet these kids where they are. And so it takes partners to do that. And BlackBurn Brew House has been a wonderful partner. We just appreciate it. And so many others as well. So many companies and individuals do some really nice things for us. And being self-funded, it's important. We can't do this without the Niagara community. So we really appreciate it.
And Chris, how did you come up with community crew, and what was the impetus there?
You know, I have kids myself, and as a lot of folks that work at BlackBurn do, and Ernie, one of our partners, he's been involved in community crew since the early days, and so it's close to him. But food security is such, especially for our kids, is such an important, it's for everyone. There's a lot of food insecurity out there, but for kids especially, because they're really trapped. They're a victim of this situation in a lot of places, and it's great. The food gives them the ability to learn and focus and obviously grow at those really important times of their life where their bodies are growing and their brains are growing. They need that kind of food and energy. And so it's a beautiful organization, and I love it. And Katy was telling me about the notes. Getting a note in your lunch so that the kid reads it and gets that note. Like, what a beautiful idea. And it gives that kid that feeling of someone cares. Like someone's put a note in my lunch, just like, oh, that kid and those other kids. It makes it feel like a normal thing, and it's not like something. It's a very normalized, special thing for them. I love it.
Katy, do you have one volunteer that writes all those notes, or is it a group of them?
Oh my goodness, there are so many individuals across Niagara that write notes for us, and even beyond Niagara. We get boxes of notes come in from folks that we've met in other parts of Canada, and they'll send us notes.
That's amazing.
Companies will we'll give them supplies, and in their break room, they'll sit down and write notes. We have phrases for them to make it really simple and what we need for the notes. But we have had rehabilitation patients at Hotel du Shaver writing us notes, and children will write us notes. Senior citizens in retirement homes will write us notes. So it's pretty simple to get involved. And we burn through thousands and thousands of notes a year. So we're always thrilled with our notes for the kids.
Do you know that some interviewers really like to make their subjects cry, but right now you're making me tear up? Because that's just,
do that.
That is such a beautiful thing that people from all over are contributing. I think Chris is getting a little...
I'm a little teary too.
The two of us. We're a couple of softies, Chris.
No one can deny the power of having something given to them that says the world is a better place because you are in it. It was my pleasure to pack this lunch for you today. Positive words mean everything. So
before Chris and I turn into a couple of bubbling fools here, we're going to wrap this up. How can people get tickets? One of you take this because I'm just about done.
Well, we've got it on our Instagram feed, BlackBurn Brew House. You can find it there. You guys probably have it on your social
as well. Yes.
Thanks.
So it's everywhere.
Thanks for coming in. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.